it really, the atmosphere, the feeling of it, the artistry really behind creating a map that is more fundamentally disturbing to people. Now, we've kind of gone there in Zombies in the past. Obviously, we're dealing with the undead. But listening to the fans, they were talking about, how do we get back to the roots, how back to maps which are unnerving by their pure physicality. And so that's what Zetsubo no Shima is really about. It's Division 9, a group that has been revealed recently in the storyline, but they go back to Shinonuma, which is all the way back into World at War. And their experiments on this island, and our crew, our gang, are turning up there to find out what perversions of nature have taken place.
Well, you had me at hello. Well,
I just wanted to say perversions of nature.
I hear they opened up at Coachella, or they will be.
That's going to be a meme now, isn't it?
Pretty much. Pretty soon you're going to have a little interview time with Noah J456, but before we jump over with him,
yes,
you brought a little something special today.
Did I?
You did.
What?
Yes.
Oh, yes, we did.
We did.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna mix it up a bit. Rather than do the gameplay trailer, I brought a little special asset. I say bring, I mean, we're in Treyarch, so it's here anyway. But we're going to show the intro cinematic to DLC 2.
Say it isn't so.
It is so.
All right. Well, with that, the premiere of Zetsubo no Shima IGC. Enjoy.
恥さらしめが日本を裏切り陛下にあだなすとは Take it easy, Tack. どうやって手に入れたんだこの異物を I'm sorry. I don't speak Japanese. 誰か答えられないのか The object in your hand? It's gonna bring you nothing but pain. Believe me, I know. ネズミどもを海に叩き落とせ I am an envoy of the Emperor himself. I am no traitor! Too close. We must go now. Season Pass now. 4 DLC packs, 1 great price.
All right, so I'm joined here today with Jason Blundell, and the first question that the community has been just pouring out to me is that, are you, in fact, a sucker for Island DLC?
Always, 24/7 actually. I mean, sometimes when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming about medieval castles.
Of course.
And I hope all the communication and conversation about this has conveyed that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that one. Okay, on to my first real question.
Yes.
So obviously everyone just saw the cutscene for the first time ever.
Yep.
This is the intro cinematic
Yep.
to the new map. And the part that struck me the most out of it is that all of our characters seem to have the same importance on the summoning key that Richtofen does. And that's something that is a huge change from the cutscene that we saw right here with Dempsey Dempsey going down, or Dempsey 1.0 going down. The characters now see it as almost as an important artifact as Richtofen does.
Right.
They seem to be following him down this path again.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, can we expect to see more and more of this trust in Richtofen And does that play into kind of a theme moving forward with not only DLC 2 but the rest of the DLCs?
I tell you, you guys give Richthofen a really hard time. I'm
not for unwarranted purposes.
That's true, but people change, things change, But I think that natural suspicion in the community is what the gang's going through as well, the team's going through, right? He's been the harbinger of evil and doom for so long that and death and destruction. I think that although he's saying that he is on a path, and they're seeing that now with they had to do it with Dempsey, and we're going into DLC 2. I think they're also wary of him, right? Because the rug has been pulled out in the past. So, I think the summoning key's kind of importance and how they see it and an understanding of what they're trying to do is kind of coming in, and we're going to see more of that in the map. But the summoning key is an integral part.
So I was talking to you a bit about this earlier, but you actually mentioned something that I think the community has kind of taken for granted, and that is the name itself.
Yeah.
Of the summoning key.
It's interesting, isn't it?
And I was wondering, what exactly would you count as being summoned so far in the series? Has there been anything?
I don't think anything's been summoned so far.
That's because I was thinking. Obviously, we've had our 4 characters that that were kind of trapped in there throughout the events of Shadows of Evil, right?
Well, it's you finish Shadows of Evil, and you've obviously got the Shadow Man in there, and you've just got Dempsey in there. But yeah, I think I don't think we've explored the kind of mythical ramifications of its title.
And it's obviously something that ties into a little bit of the shirt you're wearing here, that it seems to have Apothicon background.
This thing.
So I was wondering if you wanted to talk a little bit about what it is you're wearing and.
No.
Okay.
We've done hints in the past talking about it. There was even kind of questions of, does this mean anything at all? It does, and I'm wearing it. Luckily, it's cropped off probably just before my gut starts. So,
very, very small text.
I need you then to kind of.
It's
there, right?
I was wondering if I could
stare at my body.
Take a few pictures of it while I'm there.
It's all there, and it's on the back as well, but I'm not getting up because I'll fall out of frame and
right.
we'll get shouted at by technical people.
So it's interesting that if you guys haven't seen the pictures, on his back he actually has the Apothicon language. On the front he has the Keeper language, which the Keeper language isn't something that we've necessarily dove too far into.
Sure.
And it's kind of been focused all on the Apothicon language, the Apothicon translations, and that's something that started and was kind of mainly based in Shadows of Evil. So I was wondering, I was wondering, what is the significance of Shadows of Evil? Because it's very similar to Mob of the Dead in the fact that a lot of people consider it a novelty, kind of separate type thing. Apparently there's a Panzer here, so.
By the way, he's been working on this for the last hour playing this gameplay.
Yeah. We've been getting up to this point just to show off a little bit.
I've just been sitting here mocking him as he's trying to walk and chew gum at the same time. But I'm going to go back to that really important question you asked. So it's been going back earlier than that, right? It's Origins. Go back to Origins.
But see the symbols on the chest.
Yeah, but let me say another kind of comment, which is there's no such thing as a one-off map. So and hopefully, through Der Eisendrache and through, Zetsubo no Shima, the community and followers of the storyline might start to see that everything is connected. We're all connected. That's one key thing, I suppose. But there is no such thing as a one-off map. And certain maps are absolutely integral to the story that's being laid out and getting us all the way ready to DLC 4 as well.
So speaking of how these maps are connected, and something that you may not focus on too much on the first time seeing the cutscene, but after seeing it for the second time, it's interesting that our characters seemingly have just appeared on this new location, right? That we started out, we just finished this map. Richthofen kind of states at the end that he knows where we're going.
Yep.
So since what point were they going to the boat, and how exactly did they get there? And is that an important question, or is that just...
I used to have an art teacher who used to say that the gaps between the artwork are just as important as the detail. And I think that applies in terms of how our maps work.
Right.
There is blocks of time which the community don't see, and that's important to set up certain themes.
Right.
and those blocks may or may not be answered in other techniques as they go along in the maps. But yes, where we choose to start an experience and where we choose to end an experience is integral. And even when you end as well, sometimes people look and say, okay, there's the main Easter egg, that's the end of the experience.
Right.
Not always is. Sometimes there's other things to look for past that experience.
So you might say scraps of paper around the map.
It can sometimes go more overt than that.
Just maybe some themes, because I was talking about this a little bit earlier, and you kind of gave me a obviously very cryptic answer here.
Sure.
But one thing that I noticed in this map in particular, in Der Eisen, which I'm not even going to try the last part of that.
Yeah, it's okay, man.
And something that people kind of like took as kind of an aesthetic aspect. It looks cool, but things like this right here, where we see, if you guys don't notice, that is the same exact truck that appears in Shadows of Evil, and a lot of this stuff actually appears like this around the map. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts maybe on the bleeding of universes that we seem to be getting here.
I have lots of thoughts about that.
Would you care to share any?
Yeah, it's so we're talking about multiverses,
right?
And we're talking about the fracturing of time, and there's a lot of things that at first glance may seem like game conventions or game conceits, which we spent a long time working into our narrative, and actually the narrative then informing those conceits as well. It works the opposite way around as well. But definitely with the split universe, multiverses, a gang traveling around, use of teleporters and so forth, all these kind of aspects are shaping the maps and shaping the worlds. You can't really think of it as in a single kind of contiguous way. That's about half the complication. So what we'll have is kind of sometimes very simple ideas, but then are wrapped in kind of complexity. But once you kind of get those simple premises, lots of things then kind of spell themselves out.
So will we be getting a few things spelled out in DLC too?
Absolutely. I mean, so our goal will be, to keep on presenting. Now, like a magician, right? We want to put the things in front of you, and so you're looking at that nice sparkly thing. Well, we're hiding the rabbit up our bum in the background. So that's the trick. So we're kind of putting things in front of the players, so they kind of focus on and talk about it, and they're integral. But also, you might not be looking just past that object to see the other glaringly obvious thing.
So what we know so far, we got a little kind of intro into the map, and it seems to me at least that Takio is going to be kind of the focus of this map. Obviously, for the last one, we had Dempsey kind of taking place, and that was his kind of quest here. So I was wondering, what kind of themes is Takio going to bring in when he faces his 1.0 version?
What a great question. That's not going to get answered.
The one that will not be answered. Of course.
I would. One thing that we're continuously doing with this DLC season is, and has been building upon great foundations of the past, is adding more dimension to our characters.
Right.
What started off being quite two-dimensional in a way, more stereotypical of their nation and so forth, exploring the emotion, exploring the connection between those characters, and then, you've got characters in this kind of fantastical world with this fantastical set of events happening.
Right.
How do they come to terms with it? And some of these things which are like, this is key to that character, how do you challenge that? How do you look at it? And how does the rest of the team respond to that?
Right.
Because they unwittingly all came together. So it's a growth of friendship and trust and mistrust. All that stuff is kind of playing on. Also on top of each person having to confront very taxing or trying things based in their own personality.
Like, killing another dimensional version of yourself.
Might
be a little stress in the head there.
Like Dempsey, he's kind of brash and over the top and shouting the American thing and let's go. And ultimately had to switch off the life support machine on himself. A very moving, emotional moment.
I just got chills thinking about that cutscene again.
And I think that's the kind of, I talk about the dimensions, that's what we're going for. Like each character has to almost kind of confront the things which define them, right? And I think that's a statement about life as well.
Right. That's extremely deep.
But it's live stream.
Such is the world of zombies.
Yeah.
So talking about DLC 2 a little bit.
Yep.
What is your, just personally, and this you can throw in as many details about DLC 2 or choose not to,
Sure, I will, yeah.
as possible. What are your kind of favorite